1045 The Team, your home for New York Yankees baseball. Joining us right now, the co-host of MLB Central, weekdays 10 a.m. Eastern Time on the MLB Network, lovingly known as RoFlo. Robert Flores joins us. So we're the home of the Yankees, and here in Albany, I saw the brawl, and I thought it was kind of great. What did you make of the brawl between the Yankees and the Sox?
I thought it was, it provided certainly a little juice. Not only for the rest of this series at Fenway, but keep in mind these teams are going to play 17 more times for the rest of the season, including tonight. So it was. I thought it was sort of kind of just a product, a little bit of the rules and the way the rules have been changed. I mean, there's the rules at how you can slide both at home plate and certainly at second base. And I don't know. I don't think that Austin came in with the intent to hurt Brock Holt or to send a message. I think that he just came in with the intent that he's going to play hard, he's going to slide hard. But I don't think that he came in with the intent of trying to hurt Brock Holt or just to send a message. But with that being said, when he did ultimately make contact with Brock Holt, I think that he should have expected to get thrown at. Now listen, getting thrown at with a baseball at 95 plus, that's not fun, and I can't imagine what that's like. But I had to suspect that he had to see it coming.
You talked about like this juicing up the series between the Sox and the Yankees. Do you think this is possibly the thing that this Yankees team needed to start playing at a higher level?
I talked with Mark DeRosa about that, and we had Kevin Millar, coincidentally enough, on the show this morning, and they mentioned that something like that, an incident like that, can quote unquote rally the troops, so to speak, but it's only really for a short amount of time. But in this instance, maybe the Yankees did need something like this to kind of, I don't want to say wake them up, but sort of maybe kind of snap them back into shape, so to speak. But is that something that you can sustain for 3 weeks or a month or the rest of the season? No, but in the short term, maybe it can provide some benefit.
Should Yankee fans be concerned about anything? I know it's early, but Yankee fans want this team to be so good, whether it be Stanton striking out, Aaron Boone as a manager. Does anything concern you about this Yankee team?
I mean, it is so early. Tommy Kahnle's, the drop in his velocity is a little weird. That's something that I kind of want to see going forward because he was, I don't want to say, he wasn't the most important part of the bullpen, but he was a contributor in that bullpen last season. So that's something that I think that kind of bears watching. CC Sabathia's health. Sonny Gray, who goes tonight, his pitch count has been elevated in his early starts this season. It's been kind of a grind for him to get through 5 innings, so I kind of want to see what he looks like tonight. But it is, I think it's so difficult to make any sort of sweeping judgments on a team when we are sitting here in mid-April.
From the MLB Network, it's Robert Flores with us right now on 104.5 The Team. Now, Robert, you're a Houston native, a Houston graduate. Are the Astros still the best team in baseball?
Again, I think that they are, but they're kind of going through a bit of a sort of a rough patch themselves. I mean, I say rough patch. They lose 2 of 3 to the Twins in Minnesota under sort of less than ideal conditions, but they're striking out more than they did last year. Remember, they struck out the fewest amount of any team in Major League Baseball. This year, that number is up. They do get Yuli Gurriel back. He'll probably be back in their lineup this weekend at home against the Rangers. But when you look at their rotation, they are throwing guys out there that when you look at, they're just giving themselves a chance. You have a chance to win with the pitchers they're throwing out there. And there's some teams that can't say that. But 1 through 5, the rotation is stacked. And I think they're going to be fine. But the strikeouts, what they're going to do with Ken Giles, those are the things for me that I want to see how those things progress the rest of the season.
Robert, that was really close. The answer we were looking for, no, the Yankees are the best team. But you were really close.
You can redeem yourself here, though, as I'm a big pro wrestling fan here on the show. Give me a grade from A to F, your grade on this year's WrestleMania.
I'd give it a B minus. You know what? How about just a B? There you go. I wanted to say B minus because it was so long. It's too long. The show's too long. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I think the pre-show started at 4:00 Eastern time. I think. So it's just too long. I mean, I had to go to work, and I didn't even watch the last match between Lesnar and Reigns. I turned it off after Styles and Nakamura. But I think it's too long. I thought Ronda Rousey was much better than what I expected. Just because, her promos were a little, they were a little uneven. She seems to be a work in progress. Her offense is kind of a work in progress. But I thought she was really, really good Sunday. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what she's going to look like going forward.
Of all the pro wrestlers of the past, I know this is a tough question. WCW, old WWF, WWE.
Yeah.
I'm watching this Andre the Giant documentary on HBO, and I thought, man, what an experience it could have been to interview Andre the Giant. Would Andre the Giant be the number one wrestler you would have loved bucket list-wise to interview in his career?
That's a good question. The only reason I would say no is just for a practical reason. His English wasn't great. It was a little hard to understand. For me, I think it would be Dusty Rhodes. I mean, because when you look at some of the promos that he delivered, just go on YouTube and just type in Dusty Rhodes promo. I thought he was, in addition to him being a dynamic in-ring performer, he was great on the mic. He was also, I mean, for people that don't know, when WCW or the World Championship Wrestling, when it was on TBS 6:05 every Saturday night, he was the one booking all those. I mean, he was the head booker, so he really brought a lot to the industry. So for me, that would be the guy that I would have want to interview.
Are we ever going to see Robert Flores in the WWE? Can we see that? Like, you've done ESPN, you've done MLB Network. What's the next step?
Yeah.
Crossover like Coachman, man. Make the move.
Well, it's funny. I've done a couple of things with them. I was on a couple of shows on the WWE Network, and after I left ESPN, I had conversations with the higher ups about joining the network. They wanted me to be sort of their, I guess, for lack of a better term, the face of their network. They were thinking about launching a studio show, and it just didn't work out. The circumstances weren't there, but they. We did have some pretty serious conversations about going that route, but ultimately it didn't work out. I was able to call the pay-per-view for Impact Wrestling last summer. That was, a great time and a great experience for me. And I just like I like entertaining. I like fun things to do and interesting things. So I don't ever want to say no.
Robert Flores with us. Before we let you go, we got a guy I went to high school with who's trying to make the climb. Have you ever seen Bobby Fish wrestle?
Wait a minute. Why does that name say? Yeah.
He was in NXT recently.
Yeah. Is he part of the new era? Is he with...
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he can go. He can go. I really think that... I think I tweeted it out. I was talking with a friend of mine. NXT somehow has evolved into something more than a developmental territory. I thought that their takeover show on Saturday night in New Orleans, I thought it was fantastic. They always deliver. I'm not able to catch the weekly show that they do on the network, but I really enjoy what they do, and it's like I said, it's almost more than a developmental territory. It's like its own. It's really its own standalone brand, which is unique and definitely exciting, not only for the performers but certainly for the fans.
It's like an ECW vibe almost. I'm picking up from it.
Yeah, that's a good call. Absolutely.
Let's see. I haven't even been watching as much wrestling as Gaz, and I'm smarter than him. That's all.
No, that's not what he said. Robert, we appreciate your time, man. Before he boosts his ego anymore, appreciate it, man.
You got it, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, man. You're the best.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.